So what if you, and only you, held the keys to your online identity? I mean, no big tech companies, no central servers, just you. Well, that's the promise behind a huge new announcement from the Web3 company Blaqclouds, and today we're going to break down exactly what this means for you. Let's get right into it.
You know, it's easy to forget this, but every single time you log in or buy something or just connect with someone online, you're using your digital identity. It's so much more than a username and a password. In today's world, it really is your most valuable asset.
So here's the real question, right? Who actually controls that asset? Is it you? Or is it the dozen different platforms all holding little pieces of your data in their own separate vaults? This is the fundamental problem that a whole new wave of technology is trying to solve.
And that brings us to today's big news. Blaqclouds just dropped an announcement that a lot of people are calling a potential milestone for decentralized identity.
So here's the headline. Blaqclouds has successfully integrated something called Apollo ID into its ecosystem. Now, I know that might sound a little technical, but stick with me, because this right here is the key to everything we're about to unpack.
The company's CEO, Shannon Hill, put it pretty bluntly, saying, "With Apollo ID, we're redefining digital identity in Web3." Okay, that's a very bold claim, so let's take a look at the tech and see what's really behind it.
So what in the world is Apollo ID? Let's forget all the marketing buzzwords for a minute. We're going to look at how this system actually plans to put you back in the driver's seat of your own digital life.
At its core, Apollo ID is a system for decentralized identity. The best way to think about it is it's less like a single account and more like a universal digital passport that you own. The whole goal is to have one single, secure identity that works everywhere online without being controlled by any one company. This chart really lays it all out. On one side, you have the model we're all used to. It's centralized. One company holds all the keys, which, creates a massive target for data breaches. The new model with Apollo ID completely flips that. It's decentralized, which means you hold your own keys. It's a fundamental shift from basically renting your identity from a platform to truly owning it. Okay, so that's the big idea. But how does it all actually work under the hood? Let's dive into the core features and see what's really powering this new digital ID. This is where it gets really interesting. First, it handles identity verification, KYC, in a decentralized way, so you don't have to keep sending your passport photo to dozens of different apps. It then stores these verified credentials in what they call an NFT-based digital vault. All that really means is your identity gets secured on the blockchain as a unique token that only you can control. It's kind of like having your driver's license in a digital safe that only you have the key to. And this is super important. This is not a walled garden. For a universal ID to actually work, it has to be, universal, right? So Apollo ID is built to work across major blockchains like Ethereum and Polygon, not just its own native chains. This interoperability is absolutely key, because your identity needs to be able to travel with you wherever you go online. So what can you actually do with this thing? It's not just a concept, it comes with a whole toolkit. You can claim a .ZEUS domain, which acts as your universal username, but it's way more than just a name. It's also your address for secure email and direct wallet-to-wallet chat, all encrypted and controlled by you. This is the stuff that makes the whole idea of a digital ID feel real and actually useful every day. But the team over at Blaqclouds isn't just stopping with what they've already built. Let's take a quick look at what they've announced is coming up next for the Apollo ID platform. And yep, this is a pretty major update on their roadmap: facial recognition. The goal here is to add a powerful layer of biometric security, which should make your login process both way easier and a lot more secure. And just to show how serious they are about this feature, the technology partner they're working with also builds secure identity tech for US White House initiatives. I mean, that's a pretty serious stamp of approval, and it gives you a hint about the level of security they're aiming for.
Okay, so if any of this sounds interesting to you, Blaqclouds is actually offering a chance to be one of the very first people to get your hands on this system.
But they are keeping the group really small for this one. This early VIP testing phase is going to be limited to just the first 500 people who apply.
So how do you get in? The process is actually pretty simple. First, you need to be a verified Apollo Wallet user. Then, you just send an email to hello@blaqclouds.io. And make sure you use the exact subject line, Apollo ID. And they've made it really clear that this is strictly first come, first served for those 500 spots. So if you're interested, you're probably going to want to move on that pretty quickly. This all comes back to the platform's core mission, which I think is captured perfectly in their official tagline: your Web3 identity, your .ZEUS domain, your digital future. It's a really powerful and simple way of summing up the whole goal here, putting digital ownership back into your hands.
And that really is the ultimate takeaway from all of this. The technology and the tools to own and control our own identity, they're being built right now. So the final question isn't really about the tech, it's about us. As we move deeper and deeper into this digital age, the real question is, will you own your digital future?